as long as there's one Filipino athlete who dreams of the Olympic medal for the Philippines, then we always have a chance.
Contrary to the popular saying, dogs aren't the only animals that can be man's best friend. Since she was a child, Maria Antoinette Toni Leviste, the first Filipina Olympian equestrian, has loved horses more than anything in the world, including her Barbie dolls. At a young age, Toni already knew what her biggest dream was: to become a world-renowned equestrian and to bring home that elusive Olympic gold. Her passion for the sport led her to sacrifice even attending her graduation to defend a horseback riding title. Unlike in other sports where speed and strength are essential, in equestrian, Toni believes that harmony and camaraderie between the horse and the rider are what's most important. The secret to her victories is her special connection with her horses. Her affection for her four-legged friends encouraged her to build a 10-hectare equestrian park in Lipa, Batangas. With the support of her father, what started as a bare piece of land is now a rich and lush haven for horses. In 2004, Toni converted to the Muslim faith and took the name Khaleda. She has been actively joining Islamic forums and interfaith campaigns around the world. She also began the Keep the Faith initiative for underprivileged youth. The veteran show jumper is currently based in Belgium and focuses on her training. Still burning with passion after more than 20 years, Toni has never stopped dreaming and continues to aspire for an Olympic medal, both for herself and for her country. Toni, when did you first learn to ride a horse?
Wow, I think I was 3 years old in Baguio when I started my love affair with ponies, with the Baguio ponies.
That was your first love talaga.
Yes,
the horse
it was.
your first love.
First and last, I think.
And then, it was it was part of a vacation?
Yeah, every summer, family and I would go to Baguio, and I would spend all morning and all afternoon at Wright Park with the Baguio ponies, and my mom would complain, amoy kabayo na daw ako. But I didn't care. I just wanted to be with the ponies all day. So at 3 years old, I was already an avid horseback rider, and I started formal riding lessons at the De Rosa School of Horsemanship when I was 8 years old.
Where was this?
That was in Makati, and it was where everybody started riding horses. Then my first competition was when I was 10 years old. At Clark Air Base.
Right away.
Yes, I competed at 10, and I still remember I was 5th place out of 5 riders. But I had a ribbon. I had a rosette, which was the prize given then for all the prize, for all the
and
winners.
And your parents didn't know?
And my parents didn't know until I told them when I brought home the medal, the 5th place ribbon. And I vowed to myself that one day I was going to the Olympics representing the Philippines.
What's the best thing about being an equestrian?
Wow. Well, I would say that competing for your country, representing your flag and country is the best thing.
Daw yun talaga.
Yeah, talaga. I mean, it's so, no matter where you are in the world, kasi when you're representing your country, you feel most Filipino. And I feel fulfilled as an athlete and as a Filipino.
Yes.
And I feel really proud to be Pinoy.
And you're still living out that dream even now that you're based in Belgium.
Yes, actually, I've been based in Belgium for the past 12 years. Not because I'm based there, but because the horses, are based in Belgium. The center of show jumping, my sport, is in Europe. That's the mecca of show jumping.
So every day there in Belgium is really devoted to preparation for the races.
Exactly, for the rounds, for the competition.
Yes. Tell me about your most recent competition. It was in Paris.
Yes, it was. So in fact, it was just last week. It was called the Gucci Paris Masters. And it's a series of, it's called the Grand Slam, in fact, like in tennis, where they have the Grand Slam of Wimbledon, of the US Open, of the Australian Open. They have the same thing in riding, and it's called the Masters Grand Slam. So the first event is in Paris, which was sponsored by Gucci. So the event was called Gucci Paris Masters. And then the next is in Hong Kong, in fact, sponsored by Longines. I hope to go. I've been invited to, but we're training towards that. It all depends on the horses. It's going to be in March.
Okay.
In March.
So you have time.
Yes, and then the last one would be in New York, which is in October. So it's the New York
You're preparing
Masters.
for that
So
also.
I'm also preparing for that. In these individual competitions, like those Masters competitions, the competition I had in Paris last week, I represent the Philippines. I ride for the Philippines. I
Yes.
carry the Philippine flag. But it's different when you're competing as a team,
Yes, yes.
when you go to the championships, because you really feel united and you really feel one with your teammates.
That's
And
how you felt during the first Olympics.
that's, well, of course, the first Olympics in Sydney in 2000 was an incredible experience because although it's been my childhood dream, like I told you, when I was 10 years old, after my first competition in Clark Air Base, that was already my dream, was to compete for the Philippines
In the Olympics.
in the Olympics, in the
Kasi for an
Philippine
athlete,
Olympic team.
that's the pinnacle talaga,
Exactly. To walk in the Olympic Stadium during the opening ceremonies, walking in with the 10,000 strongest, fittest, most disciplined
Yes.
human beings in the entire planet, diba? It was such an honor to be amongst them, you know. Not to say that you're one of them, but you were there, diba? So it was really an honor, and to be, of course, carrying the Philippine flag, walking in there. I mean, for me, it was like the biggest moment of my life, and to have been part of that and to still have a chance to be in
part of that again.
Yeah, to be
yes.
part of that again would be is a great privilege. So it's a matter of getting into the ring as many times as you can, riding as many types of horses as possible, and that's only through years of experience. So that's what I have to look forward to.
Tell me about converting to Muslim or to the
To
Muslim.
Islam.
Yes.
Yes. So
How do you say it? Is it Muslim or
well,
Islam?
Muslim is the person.
Ah,
so
okay,
and Islam is
converting
the
to
religion.
Islam.
So
okay.
converting to Islam.
Islam. Okay.
Yes. To make it clear, in fact, Muslim simply means believing in one God.
Okay.
So there's not much difference between the Islamic faith or between Muslims and Christians because we believe in one God.
Yes,
Right?
true.
It's just that in Christianity, it's in the Trinity, whereas in Islam, it's one God.
Okay.
So that's where maybe the disparity lies, but at the end of the day, it's believing
still
in the same God.
Yes.
So it's there's not a lot of difference when I had converted or when I reverted.
What led you to it?
Well, actually, I was a very devout Catholic. In fact, at one moment, I wanted to become a nun.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding, except
A nun that rides horses.
yeah, that's the problem. Although I could be a flying nun and be riding with my veil. No, but no, kidding aside, I was a devout Catholic, and my friends would even joke me that I would be carrying a picture of the Pope in my wallet.
You would?
I would, yeah.
So you're very devout.
Yes,
Oh.
I would go to Mass
Every Sunday.
Definitely more than every
Yes.
Sunday, regularly. And in fact, I grew up in Catholic schools. I went to Saint Scholastica's.
Okay.
And then I went to Ateneo, a Jesuit school. And I was, in fact, they would have regular recruitment, where they were
For nuns.
for nuns and priests.
Okay,
So they would send out the
formation.
formation, the missionary brochures of all the different missions, and I would collect all of them and would try to study each one.
So there was this calling.
Yes,
talaga.
there was really that.
When did
Then,
the shift
yes,
happen?
Because when you're very much into something, you search a lot
okay.
and you seek more knowledge about it. And the more I read about Islam in particular, the more I felt that I was Muslim in my heart. Like I said, Islam or being a Muslim means the obedience and believing in one God.
Okay.
And I felt that the discipline of Islam, praying 5 times a day, fasting during Ramadan, for example, brings you closer to God. Like just the praying 5 times a day. Of course, you can do that as a Catholic or as with any other religion, but in Islam they require it, of course. So
What do you mean praying 5 times a day? You have to really stop at certain
time
certain points, or no?
Yes.
Any time.
No, there's a particular specified time.
Okay, like
what? So the first prayer is called Fajr. So it's prayed before the sun rises.
So you're up before the sunrise.
Yes,
every day.
Every day. And then the second prayer is prayed at noon. And then the third prayer would be before the afternoon.
Okay.
Before the late afternoon.
Which would be around what time? 4?
Which would be between 3 and 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Depends which part of the world you're in.
Okay.
And in fact, I bring a compass with me
because
you have to pray in the direction of Mecca. And then the fourth prayer is before the sun sets.
Okay.
Before the sun sets. And then the fifth prayer is before the night falls. I mean, before you sleep.
Okay.
Basically. So it's a specified time. Actually, it doesn't take
so much of your
time.
time.
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. Depends on how long each prayer is. It's a very simple religion, in fact. Just politics, I think, world politics makes it complicated.
Now that you say that, what do you think is the biggest misconception about your faith?
That they are a violent people, that Muslims are violent, because that's since 9/11, that seems to be the perception of the world towards Muslims. Like when a terrorist attack happens, and
the usual
and it's a Muslim,
I
mean, the first thing that comes into your mind would be, was it a Muslim that did it? Whereas, in fact, Muslim means peace. Islam means peace. So the people who engage in these acts of violence, of terrorism, are not Muslims but terrorists.
How often do you attend Islamic forums and interfaith conferences?
There's not a specified
just when you can,
regular
and when you feel
time.
like
Yes. So in fact, I've been invited to many world Islamic conferences. Like recently, I was invited to be a speaker at the World Islamic Economic Forum as a youth leader, which I thought was very. I was very touched that they had given me the honor to be a speaker in such a forum, and I think a lot of these forums invite me to speak because perhaps to be a symbol of a modern day Muslim that can continue advocating, especially for women, like things that women can do as a Muslim woman, which would be anything really in the world, which is another misconception, in fact, that Muslim women are secondary,
or parang their wings have been clipped.
Yeah,
Diba?
exactly.
That's
which is not the case, because I'm a Muslim woman who I feel that I adhere to the beliefs of the teachings of the Muslim faith, and as a woman, I can still do what the goals in my mind and in my heart.
Everything that you wanted to be at 3 and 10, you still can be, with this added dimension to your life.
Yes, exactly.
Diba? Now we're going to the barn.
Yes, barn.
That looks like a house. But that's not the barn in the storybooks that I grew up with.
Because actually, when we first tried to develop the place, it was only the barn that was supposed to be constructed.
Just the barn?
Just the barn. But then when my dad saw the plans...
a horse path.
Yes, it was just supposed to be for the horses. When my dad saw the blueprint of the barn, he's like, this is where the horses are gonna live, and we have a bahay kubo. Paano naman yon? Hindi yata balance. So that's why we decided to build the rest of the ancestral home.
I've never been to a barn. This is a first for me. Yes.
So now the barn with the real horses. So this horse is new. It just arrived from Europe. Horses have to fly in airplanes.
Really?
In fact, yeah.
Is
so
there a horse,
when we compete in international
with you?
competitions, they have to fly with us. So in the plane with the passengers. In fact, the commercial passengers, don't know that there are horses in the back seat of the economy. They're not even in the lower
you
floor.
Mean in the plane, in the
same
plane?
Cabin? Yeah. Actually, her name is Filipinas.
Okay.
She is the baby of my Olympic horse.
Okay.
And now she's owned by a student of mine, Derek Cadiz. And he's learning and she is teaching him. And she's a very sweet girl. You can try to touch here.
I saw the mouth. Never mind.
You saw the teeth?
Yeah.
You can touch the nose. I promise she can't bite you. She won't. She won't. See, I can even kiss her. Just one little tap. See?
Okay.
She's really sweet. So how do I choose horses? It's like falling in love.
Oh.
Not that I know about that in human terms. The best horse and rider combination is not necessarily the best horse and the best rider combined.
Okay, okay. It's like finding talaga the right
Yeah,
mix.
the match. It's chemistry. It's the best harmony. The best partnership between horse and rider makes the best team. So when I try horses, when I find horses for me to purchase or for my students, I try to find the best match. The best match for me or for my students.
You go with gut feel or you ride
So
the
I
horse
ride them,
first?
of course,
Okay.
like test driving a car, I suppose. But unlike cars that they have, okay, if it's this model, this brand, this year, it will run this way,
no,
diba?
no,
It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's really your feeling, your
Yes.
sensation when you ride them. It's the chemistry that you have.
But
diba?
whatever horse you pick, you know that you can develop a bond.
Well, sometimes you can make mistakes too.
Tell me about Leap of Faith. How did you know that she was the one?
Well, it was sort of an accidental partnership. I was in Ireland in 1994. I was training there, and the Gulf War happened. And she was owned by a Kuwaiti couple, and they had to sell everything very quickly. And they had many horses there in England and in Ireland. And she was normally not for sale because she was quite an incredible horse, as a young horse. And I was there at the right moment. And so we found each other, so to say.
Talaga?
And since then, she's been my soulmate.
Really?
She's still my soulmate. She's traveled all around the world with me, around Southeast Asia, America, Europe. We've been to many challenges and obstacles together. And I would say that she is my idol athlete because she is really a champion in her heart. She goes in the ring only with one thing in mind, which is to come out number one.
Talaga?
And when she's not, she knows it.
Really?
And she gets depressed. I
Are
tell
you
you.
kidding?
I know, I'm not kidding. And I feel bad because I didn't try hard enough for her.
What about finding a human soulmate?
Yes, this is the problem, right? Truly. I don't know if anyone can match her qualities. No, but it will come like anything in life.
Anything that's meant to be.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Anything that's meant to happen will.
How nice, Nona. Something you've dreamed of since you were 10 years old. That dream is still so alive and you're still
Yes.
pursuing that.
Yeah, although, Lucy, I have to tell you, every year I try to retire. Every year my
no
plan
such
is, okay,
thing.
at the end of 2010, I'm going to retire. At the end of 2011, I'm
No,
going to
but
retire.
why?
Because it costs so much. I mean, because it takes up all your time to fundraise. Because it's difficult to do this on your own, you know. It's hard to focus on fundraising and being the athlete
Yes.
and being your
You should just be
PR
one,
team
true,
and it's
And you're
difficult.
doing all of that?
Because nobody else will, you know. So there's a lot to be desired from our Philippine sports programs.
But you do it anyway because you love the sport.
Yes. So I measure success with doing the best that you can with what you have. So I can sit home and complain that we don't get enough support from
Or
government
you can try.
agencies, or you can move it and move towards your goal every day, diba? So this is what I'm trying to do because
that's what drives you also.
That's what drives me, is that I still have the passion in my heart every morning that I wake up, and I thank God for it because it's what gets me out of bed and move towards something that I feel is fulfilling, you know. So I am a Filipino athlete in my heart and in my soul. And if it's the last thing I'm going to do till the day I die to try to attain the Olympic gold medal for our country, I'm going to do that. And if for as long as there's one Filipino athlete who dreams of the Olympic medal for the Philippines, then we always have a chance.
Tony, most valuable lesson you learned from doing the sport all these years?
Well, I think for any athlete, they would realize through all their competitions that you win some, but you lose a lot more. So what's important is that you rise up every time you fall. Because you have to realize that to attain your dreams, you have to keep on moving forward. And there's going to be many moments that you're going to fail. But those moments can't deter you. You have to keep moving forward.
Parang the journey matters as much as the destination.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Tony, tell me about your riding clinics and what about teaching brings you so much joy?
I'm not sure that it brings me so much joy.
It doesn't?
No. Well, I'm really impatient, and that's something actually I have to overcome because
you're impatient.
Because I give so much of myself when I teach, and when I feel that the student is not giving half as much as what I'm giving or what the horse is giving, then I get really impatient about that. But what I like most about it is when I see the progress, when I see the difference from when they just started or the years that we have together, because it takes a long time to develop a true equestrian. And when I see my students here improve and develop into better riders, I find fulfillment in that, of course.
What about Keep the Faith initiative?
Yeah, okay. Keep the Faith initiative is something I started when I reverted to Islam, when I converted to Islam, actually. All the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds that come from the
go to the
equestrian center, go to the Keep the Faith initiative, which supports underprivileged kids in their,
so they're able to pursue
from nursery to college, so that they can finish school. And the ones who have a talent in sports, we also try to help them.
So right now,
with
you have
scholarships.
how many children that you've taken?
Well, we started very small. It started with 5 students, then it became 10, and now we're up to maybe 20 plus students.
Because these aren't students that you've helped one time lang, diba? They
This
really
is
continuous.
Until from when they're born. I mean, from when they start schooling, from nursery until college. Yes. So in fact, we're going to have our first graduates next year pa lang. So, I mean, I know I can't save the world, not even the country, you know, but if you can help influence the lives of the people around you.
One person at a time.
Yes, it's going to make a difference
One person
already.
at a time. Generally, how would you describe the Filipino athlete?
The beauty in the Filipino athlete, you're right, is the Filipino spirit. And kahit,
it shines talaga.
Talaga, kahit na saan mo kami ipasok, kayang-kaya talaga. I mean, we endure, we overcome, and we're always happy. I mean, no matter how little we have compared to the other countries,
we're still a lot happier.
We're always singing, we're always laughing, we're always smiling.
Resilience din, no?
I mean, nothing is gonna deter us from smiling, it seems. And the Filipino spirit always shines.
And how do you want to be remembered?
One who was a dreamer that never quit.